Spring 2026 is already stacked. We've got huge sequels everywhere right now. People are watching stuff like That Time I Got Reincarnated as a Slime, The Angel Next Door Spoils Me Rotten, and a bunch of other returning anime that were basically guaranteed to dominate the season anyway. But instead of talking about the obvious sequel picks everybody already knows, I wanted to focus on something way more interesting. The brand new anime that just started airing this season. No nostalgia advantage, no wait until season 3 hype, no fanbase carrying them automatically. Just completely fresh anime trying to survive week by week. And honestly, some of them are cooking way harder than expected. So today we're talking about 10 spring 2026 anime you need to watch. But before the actual top 10, let's quickly talk about 3 new anime airing this season that people are already enjoying way more than expected. Marriagetoxin. Action, comedy, romance, crime. This anime should not work as well as it does. The setup already sounds insane. We've got an elite assassin who somehow ends up dealing with marriage problems and romance chaos while still trying to survive actual dangerous missions. And somehow the anime balances all of that surprisingly well. One moment it's serious assassin action, the next moment this guy is struggling with emotional communication like his life depends on it. Which honestly, it kind of does. And that contrast is what makes the show fun. It feels chaotic, stylish, and weirdly charming at the same time. I want to end this love game. Romantic comedy, school, childhood friends. This is one of those rom-coms where the 2 main characters are clearly in love, but both of them are way too stubborn to admit it. So instead of confessing like normal people, they basically turn romance into psychological warfare. Every interaction becomes teasing, mind games, accidental flirting, and emotional denial. It's the type of anime where literally everyone watching already knows they like each other, except the characters themselves. And honestly, that's where most of the comedy comes from. You're gonna enjoy this chemistry a lot, and you can tell this is going to become one of those weekly comfort rom-coms for a lot of viewers. Kill Blue. Action, comedy, school life. Now this one has one of the funniest concepts this season. A professional hitman suddenly ends up stuck living as a middle school student. So now this deadly assassin has to deal with things that are somehow more terrifying than combat. School rules, classmates, homework, and trying to act normal. And the funniest part is seeing someone who's extremely skilled at fighting completely lose against basic school life situations. It's got action, comedy, and that weird over-the-top anime energy that somehow becomes even funnier the more serious the main character tries to act. And honestly, these 3 alone already prove this season has way more going on than just the big sequels everybody expected to dominate. But now, let's get into the actual list. Here are 10 spring 2026 anime you need to watch. Number 10. Gals Can't Be Kind to Otaku. Romantic comedy, school. We're starting this list with pure social suffering. Because this anime understands one very important thing. Talking to people is scary. Especially when you're an awkward otaku surrounded by confident popular girls who somehow always look like they know exactly what they're doing. Meanwhile, the main character looks like he's mentally buffering during every conversation. And honestly, that's what makes the comedy work. The anime doesn't need crazy drama or huge plot twists. It just throws this guy into painfully awkward situations and lets the emotional damage happen naturally. Like one wrong sentence and suddenly your entire week is ruined. And the best part is, the girls aren't even mean. The title says, Gals Can't Be Kind to Otaku. But half the time, it feels more like otaku can't survive basic human interaction. Still though, the chemistry's fun, the comedy lands, and it's exactly the type of weekly rom-com people end up getting attached to without realizing it. Number 9. Agents of the Four Seasons Dance of Spring. Fantasy, drama, slice of life. This anime feels like it was handcrafted in a studio where everyone speaks softly and drinks tea while discussing emotions. everything about it is calm. The visuals, the pacing, the atmosphere, even the dialogue feels gentle. And honestly, that's kind of rare now, because most anime are trying so hard to grab your attention instantly. Meanwhile, this show just quietly sits there, like you either understand the vibe or you don't. It's very emotional, very atmospheric, and definitely more character-focused than action-focused. This is not the anime you watch for hype moments. This is the anime you watch late at night when you want something calm but emotionally heavy at the same time. And if it continues adapting the source well, this could easily become one of the most underrated shows of the season. Number 8. Kamiina Botan Yoeru Sugata wa Yuri no Hana. Slice of life, drama, Yuri. Now, this anime right here, this is dangerous for people who love slow emotional storytelling. Because on the surface, it looks super chill. Cute girls, casual conversations, relaxing atmosphere. But the more you watch, the more you realize, oh, everybody here is emotionally confused. And then alcohol gets involved, which immediately upgrades every interaction from normal conversation to accidental emotional confession speedrun. And honestly, the anime handles that balance really well. It's soft without being boring, emotional without forcing drama every 5 minutes, and the Yuri chemistry is already strong enough that people online are absolutely going to obsess over these characters by mid-season. You can already tell. Number 7. The Ramparts of Ice. Psychological, survival, drama. This is where the season starts getting cold. Not just visually, emotionally too. This anime feels that heavy survival drama atmosphere, where it constantly feels like something bad is about to happen, even during quiet scenes. And that tension never really goes away. The environment itself feels hostile, the characters feel exhausted, and nobody looks emotionally stable enough to survive the full season, which honestly makes the whole thing more interesting. Because instead of relying on flashy action scenes, the anime builds pressure slowly. Every conversation feels important, every decision feels risky, and the psychological tension is way stronger than I expected going into it. Definitely not a turn your brain off anime. Number 6, I made friends with the second prettiest girl in my class. Romance School Drama. This title is already setting off alarms immediately, because what do you mean, second prettiest girl? That sounds like the beginning of emotional disaster. And yeah, that's basically what this anime is. A school romance where nobody fully understands their own feelings, everybody overthinks every interaction, and one misunderstanding can change the entire mood instantly. Classic romance anime behavior. But what makes this one work is how natural the character interactions feel. The conversations don't feel overly dramatic. They feel awkward in a believable way. Like people trying to figure out emotions while pretending they already understand them. Number 5. Akane-banashi. Drama, performing arts, slice of life. Now this is where the list starts getting serious. Because Akane-banashi somehow took traditional Japanese storytelling and turned it into one of the most intense anime this season. No magic powers, no giant battles, no chosen one nonsense. Just raw talent, pressure, competition, and the terrifying reality of performing in front of people who are waiting for you to fail. And honestly, that's way more stressful than fighting demons. The main character carries this anime hard too. You can feel how badly she wants to prove herself every single episode. And the coolest part is that the anime makes simple conversations feel important. Every performance feels like a battle without needing flashy action scenes, which is exactly why so many people are getting hooked on it right now. Number 4. Go For It Nakamura. Comedy, romance, slice of life. This anime is basically social anxiety, but make it adorable. and somehow it works perfectly. Nakamura is the type of character where you spend the entire episode screaming, "Just talk to him!" But of course, he never does, because every tiny interaction immediately becomes a full mental crisis. And honestly, that's where most of the comedy comes from. The anime understands awkwardness extremely well. Not exaggerated anime awkwardness either. I mean real awkwardness, like replaying conversations in your head 3 hours later for absolutely no reason. And the funniest part is how genuinely wholesome it feels underneath all the chaos. It's awkward, funny, slightly painful, and weirdly relatable at the same time, which is basically the perfect formula for a good slice of life romcom.
たった人しか合わせられない。そんなこと言わないで、お兄さん。
Number 3. Demon of the Shadow Realm. Dark fantasy, action, supernatural. Alright, now we enter the "this season is actually insane" section. Because Demon of the Shadow Realm feels huge already. The atmosphere alone is incredible. Everything feels dangerous, the world feels mysterious, and every episode gives you that feeling that something terrible is hiding just underneath the surface waiting to explode later. This isn't a comfort anime. This is the type of series where you finish an episode and immediately go, yeah, something bad is definitely about to happen. And honestly, the pacing has been surprisingly strong so far. The anime knows exactly when to slow down and when to hit you with chaos. Plus, the action scenes already look clean, which is very important because dark fantasy anime can either become season-defining masterpieces or PowerPoint presentations by episode 7. Thankfully, this one actually looks good.
いやー、バリ立派じゃの。
Number 2. Nippon Sangoku, The Three Nations of the Crimson Sun. Historical, political drama, action. This anime feels massive in the best way possible. Political tension, war strategy, conflicts between nations, and absolutely nobody fully controlling the situation. Every conversation feels important. Every alliance feels temporary, and every episode feels like it's slowly pushing the world closer to complete chaos. This is the type of anime where people are going to start making theory videos, faction breakdowns, explaining the politics posts, and 40-minute analysis essays by mid-season, because there's so much happening underneath the surface constantly. And honestly, that type of storytelling is dangerous when it's done well. Because once people get invested, they get really invested.
何を書いた？何の魔法を書いた？わからない。
Number 1. Witch Hat Atelier. Fantasy, adventure, magic. And yeah, there was never really another choice for number 1. Witch Hat Atelier just feels special. Not good seasonal anime special. I mean, people are going to remember this years later special. Everything about it feels magical in the purest sense of the word. The world design, the atmosphere, the sense of discovery, the magic system. It all feels crafted with so much care. And what makes it stand out even more is how different it feels from most modern fantasy anime. It's not trying to overwhelm you with non-stop action every 5 minutes. It actually lets the world breathe. It wants you to get lost in it. And honestly, that's exactly why people are already falling in love with it this season. This is the kind of anime that reminds you why fantasy became so popular in the first place. Not because it's loud, but because it feels genuinely immersive. And right now, this is easily one of the strongest new anime airing in spring 2026. Final thoughts. And yeah, spring 2026 is kind of ridiculous right now. We've got huge sequels dominating the mainstream conversation, but at the same time, all these brand new anime are quietly building their own fan bases week after week. And honestly, some of these shows are probably going to end up becoming way bigger than people expected. So now I want to know, which new anime are you watching this season? And which one do you think is going to blow up the hardest later? Because every season has that one anime people underestimate at first, and then suddenly everybody's talking about it non-stop 3 weeks later. Anyway, if you enjoyed the video, like, subscribe,